The biggest thing is, when it comes down to it, I cannot show that the decision of Officer Christopher Carlson of the Grand Rapids Police Department to use deadly force that night was not honest and reasonable. Putting it another way, in terms of when a self-defense claim or defense of others claims is raised, I have to prove that beyond a reasonable doubt that they did not act in self-defense. And based on the facts and circumstances as I see them, I just cannot simply do that, even with that, as bad as those videos show. The facts show that Mr. Johnson had a firearm. It was a loaded firearm, and from the impression of Officer Carlson, it was pointed at him during this incident. So I'm going to get into that, kind of starting from the beginning, when I started the review. How did this incident start? This was actually started by a confidential informant. They have a reliable and confidential informant by the Grand Rapids Police Department. The Vice unit was out that night conducting operations. They got a tip. They got a tip that an individual would be walking around the city with a loaded firearm. Actually not a loaded firearm, but just a firearm simply. And so they started to investigate. They conducted surveillance, and they actually picked him up around Miss Tracy's. When I say picked him up, it was Mr. Johnson. He matched the description. They've used the informant before, and they actually have the Vice audio that kind of gives you a little bit of background on what was going on.
He's got me eastbound, like he's going to go into Miss Tracy's. But he's not going to. Yes, he is. He's going to go into Miss Tracy's.
All right. Austin and I will tighten up, call it when he leaves, when he steps out into the parking lot, and we'll move in.
He's being pretty loud. Again, BM, medium build. He has like a tan flannel with black underneath, black pants, black t-shirt, and a tan hat. Looks like he's ready to grab that bike there. And he's going to be riding that bike westbound on MLK. I'm 10 of them now.
Yeah, I'll be behind him, I guess. I've got him. He's singing real loud. He's westbound on the bike. I'll have him for a minute. No lights on that bike, so if he gets in the roadway, we'll be good.
So you hear that last thing, if there's no lights on the bikeway, if he gets in the roadway, we'll be good. It is a violation of Michigan law. It is a violation of Grand Rapids City ordinance to ride a bike in the roadway without a light. It did not have a light, so there's a legitimate basis for them to make contact and pull him over for not having a light. In addition, when there's reasonable suspicion under Michigan law, even using a confidential informant, you can conduct an investigatory stop. And I'll quote from People v. Tooks. It's 403 Mich. It's a Michigan Supreme Court case from 1978. Even when an investigatory stop is based, at least in part, on information from an informant, the critical inquiry remains whether the officer's suspicion was reasonable when considered in light of the totality of the circumstances. And this basically follows Terry v. Ohio. That's a United States Supreme Court decision, which basically says a reasonable suspicion test for determining the reasonableness of a stop. So they had a reliable, credible informant. The information that was provided to the Vice officers gave them a reason to follow this guy. The information checked out. He went to Miss Tracy's as they were informed to, so they decided to make a stop of Mr. Johnson. What you see here and what you have a copy of is this is the Austin DeKeevers. Austin DeKeevers is the canine officer that was involved in this incident. We have his in-car video. Officer Carlson was operating a semi-marked. You'll see it up in front here where my arrow's pointing. It's got sirens and lights, but it's not fully marked, nor does it have in-car video. So all we have is the in-car video of Officer DeKeevers as they attempt to stop Mr. Johnson. You can see Mr. Johnson right there riding his bike when they attempt to pull him over. They're going down Eastern here. This chase goes from Eastern to Bates to Henry to Thomas to Charles, and then ends up in the apartment complex.
Stop, please, canine! Stop, please, canine, you're going to get that.
You'll hear that he actually went on that one. He went over the PA system saying, "Stop, police canine, you're going to get hit." The other two times was yelling out the window, but he at least went one time over the PA system.
Henry, got black male, brown flannel, black pants, got a brown hat, he's got a satchel, you're civil, we're North County Eastern Lofts.
Stop, please, canine!
Down Charles. Back lot of the apartment complex. 1478, dog on light, dog on light.
Right.
Okay, so that's the in-car video of Officer DeKeevers and his K-9 unit. This is a video I don't think anybody's seen yet. This is an apartment complex security video that the police, Michigan State Police had access to. You'll see much of the same thing. There is no sound with this, so you see it run. As you can see, the officer allows the K-9 unit out. The K-9 is trained. This is a K-9 unit. They are authorized to try and apprehend suspects, a fleeing suspect in this manner. So there's nothing in violation of Grand Rapids Police policy. They have a policy that says they can use when there's reasonable cause to think they need to chase somebody down with a dog. They were able to use that in this fashion. I think this was probably the clearest video in terms of quality, and I think one of the things that we're able to do, once again, the state police did a really nice job in terms of pulling out some information. One of the more important things is when you look at these still photos from it, you look at Mr. Johnson's hands. I'll try and use hopefully my cursor shows up there. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But you can see in the lower part of his, there's nothing in his hand. That right hand is the key thing. If you see the body cam on the right hand, there's nothing in his right hand at this point in time. There is some in his left hand. Those are a pair of gloves. There's nothing dangerous or anything along those lines. But when you look at it, he clearly has nothing in his hand. One of the things the officers talk about, is the 45-degree angle. This is in the reports. This is something that both officers indicate that caused them concern. You can see in this video, there's a 45-degree angle. It's indicative of somebody reaching for something, and that's something that's trained in. That's something that's well known in the police community. When somebody's reaching for something, you don't know if it's a gun, it could be a cell phone, could be nothing, but that 45-degree angle gives officer concern of, okay, what's that person reaching for? This comes out a little bit better because we were able to go in further, and you can see once again he does it twice. Right about now, reaching to the side, and then he does it again. And you can see the officer stomp down. That is a staple. That is a trained thing. He stomps down on that right arm. He is concerned about it at that point in time. I'll get into the body cams a little bit, but you'll hear him saying he's reaching for something. He's reaching for something. He's got his arm. So that right arm gives him concern because at least on 2 occasions, Mr. Johnson is reaching for something with his right arm. He didn't have anything in his hand when he fell off the bike, but he's going for something, and they don't know what at that point in time. And then you see when it comes out, something falls out of his hand. That's something you can't see very well. This is about as clear as we can get it from this video, but there'll be additional videos that come out as this transpires. So I then go to, once again, this is maybe a better shot of, once again, as he's on the ground with that 45-degree angle, you see that bent arm, which caused the officer to stomp down on his arm in that fashion. So then you have the body camera video. Much of this is just, what you've heard before. This is Officer DeKeevers' body cam. Officer Carlson had a body cam. It was not activated. He was in the semi-marked patrol vehicle. They don't have the same synchronizing thing that makes the body camera turn on at the same time the sirens go on. So he turned his on after the incident essentially happened. So all we have is the body cam of Officer DeKeevers, but there's a lot of stuff here. This is when as they begin to chase him, so I'm going to fast forward to this. You can see him stomp, and you can see his foot on that arm round.
Chris, grab his right arm. I need you to grab his right arm, Chris. Grab his right arm. I got the dog. Dog's good. Hey, dog's good. Chris, right arm. Right arm. Stop reaching, man. You're going to get shot. Hey, he's got a fucking gun. He's got a gun in his hand. Let him go. Let him go. Drop the gun. Drop the gun. Drop. Drop go. Chris, you good?
So obviously there's, both officers say that right arm, and now you see the gun is introduced. He's reaching for a gun. He's got a gun in his hand. Obviously that causes concern for Officer Carlson. He expresses that to Officer DeKeevers about the dangerousness of this gun being in his hand. So the question becomes, is there a gun? Is there in fact a gun? Because clearly you don't see it under the cameras up until this point. We also have the cell phone video, and this maybe gives the best view of is there a gun. We did remove the sound from this, but at the end of this video, I think clearly that shows when we review this, and you can go into it, there is a gun that comes out of his hand at that point in time. It's kind of fast there, so I'm going to back that up. Just right there as it comes out of his hand, you can see that. And it's a tan Taurus right there. You can see something drop out of his hand. So clearly he's got a gun in his hand and obtained a gun, because as I showed earlier, there was no gun in his hand when we got off the bike. And so now we know what he was reaching for. He's reaching for a gun. It is a loaded gun. It's a Taurus handgun. It had a round in the chamber. We don't know much about it other than it was sold in Georgia, and we don't know anything. It was not reported stolen or anything along those lines, but clearly he has a possession of a gun, and it drops out of his hand after this incident occurs, which once again supports what Officer Carlson said. He's got a gun. We have a gun now falling out of his hand at this point in time. We tried to get some stills off of that. Obviously the quality's not there, but you can kind of see the framework of a gun coming out of his hand. This is once again off the cell phone video. The cell phone video, and it kind of matches what you see in the apartment complex video. Something's clearly coming out of his hand. This is the best we could do coming out of it. There was a gun found next to him then, and I'll show you a video of that when the officers report to aid him. The gun is lying next to him on the ground, and that's a close-up of that gun that was found next to him on the ground. We did do a sync video because I thought that may be the best way to show what exactly was going on, kind of putting all this together. They use the audio of the body cam videos, but then they try and sync the other camera angles of what exactly occurred, and I think it becomes really apparent in terms of what exactly happened when that gun was seen by Officer Carlson at this point in time.
Foot! Get on the ground! Hands up! Look, hey, show me your hands! He's reaching, Chris, he's reaching! Chris, grab his right arm. I need you to grab his right arm, Chris. Grab his right arm. I got the dog. Dog's good. Hey, dog's good. Chris, right arm. Right arm. Stop reaching, man. You're going to get shot. Hey, he's got a fucking gun. He's got a gun in his hand. Let it go. Drop the gun. Drop the gun. Back off. Drop go.
Now, it doesn't come up when you get closer, but you can see a gun once again. You see the outline of the gun coming out of his hand at that point in time. But I think one of the most important things, too, if you watch the cell phone video, is the kind of a hop. When you see he's got a gun, Officer Carlson had holstered his weapon, had put his weapon away to effectuate an arrest, and he says that in his report. But then he does this hop, he's got a gun, and then draws his weapon once again. So clearly, not only verbally does he see a gun, but I think there's a physical manifestation of what he sees there, because clearly there's a start, there's a jump, if you will. So it becomes, okay, there's a gun, did he see it? And obviously I get feedback, and I've heard the things that, well, they make this up. They're trained to put this in the reports. But we look further in the body cam video, and you hear Officer Carlson minutes after this saying, the gun was pointed in my face. I'll show you the first one.
Off. Off. Yep.
It comes a little bit later. After you hear him say, one of the officers, the keeper said, stand back, please. Or stay inside.
Stay inside, please. Bell. Do you see the gun, Chris? Okay. Do you see it right now? Okay.
I think it's interesting right there. The conversation is, do you see the gun, Chris? And that's a question, and the answer by Officer Carlson was, yes, it was pointed right in my face. Okay, I think the question actually was, do you see it now? Because that's what he follows up with. Do you see it now? And yes, it can be other. But that was, goes to, this is minutes, probably 2 minutes after the actual shooting. He says, yes, the gun was pointed in my face. And just in case we didn't hear, we were able to kind of take out the siren portion of that video, or the audio, to hear it a little bit more clearly.
Yes, I saw the barrel pointed straight in my face. It's going to be under him.
So yeah, it's going to be under him. Barrel's pointed straight at his face, and there in fact was a gun. This is a little more of a graphic portion of the video. We blocked it out as much as we can, but when Grand Rapids officers go to assist and with Mr. Johnson, The gun is found right next to him. It's caught on the body cams.
Roll him away from the gun.
So the gun's clearly next to him. So when analyzing this, I can't just say, well, look at this video, it's horrible. Everybody's offended by it because a lot of people are, and I completely understand why. It's a horrific video to watch. But I have to apply the facts to the law when I argue this into a jury.